हेलो एवरीवन, आदाब। उम्मीद है आप जहां भी होंगे बखैर होंगे, आफियत से होंगे। आज का ये जो सेशन है अचानक है। देयर इज नो फॉर्मल इंट्रोडक्शन, नो फॉर्मल अनाउंसमेंट अबाउट दिस, बट जो आज की कॉन्वर्जेशन है आई बिलीव इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट और एक इम्पॉर्टेंट इंसान के साथ है। It is lesser going to be an interview kind, and it's more going to be a chat and a casual chat, but on a very interesting topic with a very interesting person. So without further delay, I would like to introduce briefly my guest today. Our guest today is Dr. Salih Rasool. अब आगे का इंट्रोडक्शन उनका क्या है, उनका कोटे क्या है, वी वुड लाइक टू हियर फ्रॉम हर, बिकॉज हियर वी बिलीव कि हर एक इंसान को इतनी फ्रीडम होनी चाहिए कि वो अपने हिसाब से अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करे या एक्सप्रेस करे। सो डॉक्टर सालेहा, फ्लोर इज योर्स, गो हेड।
Hello, Athar.
यू कैन
Good
इंट्रोड्यूस
afternoon,
योरसेल्फ
and
टू
thank you for
अदर
having me
गेस्ट्स।
here. The introduction, anyway, फिर से हो गया वापस आ गया
Yes, we are seeing you, we are hearing you, you can go ahead.
It's going. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me here. The introduction you have given is anyway huge and heavy. I don't know how much of it I'm deserving as of now, and I don't know how much of it I can prove myself to be in future. But one thing, of course, at the very onset, I am really impressed anyway by the way you conduct any kind of conversation and the way you pull it. This was really beautiful saying that इतना तो freedom होना चाहिए कि अगला इंसान अपने बारे में खुद बात करे. I think that is
It's,
the that
it's
has
rightly
stolen my
so,
heart away
because
because I believe.
it's rightly so, because you need to give that agency to a person. हमें क्या पता आप किस तरह से एक इंसान अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहे। तो दिस इज आई थिंक
Exactly.
मैनर ऑफ स्पीकिंग, इस तरह से कि गिव देम द फ्रीडम कि वो अपने आप को किस तरह से एक्सप्रेस करना चाहते हैं या किस तरह से इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहते हैं। आई बिलीव हम
And to
कल जब
that, I
बात कर
would
रहे थे इसके
add
बारे
because
में, या सो आई बिलीव हम कल जब बात कर रहे थे इसके बारे में कि दैट वी आर गोइंग टू हैव दिस चैट, तो आई टोल्ड यू कि सो इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी प्रीची। हम खुद, मैं भी उस तरह से आई वोंट टेक अ स्टैंड बिकॉज आई एम अ ले मैन हियर। और जिस चीज के बारे में हम बात करना चाहेंगे वो भी ऐसा एक टॉपिक है जो सबके इंटरेस्ट के हिसाब से है, एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल वी डोंट नो अबाउट इट। सो you come from a background which is like vastly knowledgeable. You're vastly knowledgeable about your subject. So please tell us about your subject. Please tell us about yourself.
yeah, so it would be very brief and coming from valleys, the background is from valley. The story starts from there, and then I had my schooling in a Christian missionary convent school there. After that, I happened to join agriculture because that is what I qualified for. And it was, of course, honestly not a chosen subject at that point. It just happened to me, and I was totally not interested. If I go very casually, I was totally not interested at that point of time. I was
Right.
very very typical to get an MBBS seat, and that's what my pattern was. So I remember my brother saying that now that you are in agriculture selected, do not think of preparing back and again for MBBS.
Hmm.
And बंदे में दम होता है, प्रोफेशन में नहीं होता. It's always the person
Okay.
who has the potential. Potential is never in the profession. So if you are capable, you're going to excel in this as well. I mean, this is the night when I had to, another day morning, I had to leave for my college to start. I think this statement, after I have, every cell in my body has imbibed it that day so strongly that today also it stands there. But I had an
So
idea
in
that
your
what he has
journey,
done, I don't have to do that. But,
okay. So in
yeah.
your journey, where are you right now? What have you completed as of now?
So as of now, I have completed academically. I am doctorate in plant breeding and genetics in agriculture, and then I did my
Hmm.
postdoctoral experience from Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. And after that, I joined MNC because I could not follow the norm, and I'm always an abnormal. So I had to go to corporate. I have experience with two multinational companies, and recently my tenure with another I concluded. And after that, I thought consciously of giving birth to Sapling Circle. This is the first child delivered, but I conceived it while I was in between two MNCs. I had one lean period of 9 to 10 months. I was working with Ministry of Agriculture in Agriculture Infrastructure Fund scheme. I think at that point of time, what was heard, what was seen, what was little observed and witnessed about a farmer community facing the challenges and how we are supposed to address them. I think it was there practically those 9 months when I worked in scheme, when I could through and through in person get the ground reality and talking to farmers and getting to know what problems they have. That minute I felt that something will come up through me, which can be of some minimum help to them. So
Okay.
that's that. That's
So
Sapling Circle today.
okay. So basically, for our audiences, you have started your own venture. It's called Sapling Circle, right? So this is something you have, and
Right.
you have started your own venture. It's a new thing. It's like budding as of now. Before that, we will come back to that, your venture, a little later in our conversation. उससे पहले जो मेरा इम्पोर्टेंट एक जो क्या क्या कहते हैं, मेरी जिज्ञासा जिसे कहते हैं हिंदी में, my jigyasa is I am a layman here, okay? Much like me, there are other people who really want to know,
I totally don't buy that you are a layman.
in terms
I totally do not
in
buy
terms
that.
of education, in terms of education, in terms of farming. I mean, and the way you introduce yourself and your experience so far, it's pretty heavy. And I am not sure कि I followed each and every bit of it to its true essence, but still मोटा मोटी बात ये है कि अगर हम दोनों के बीच में यहाँ पे कोई एक्सपर्ट है, इट्स यू एंड पीपल हु आर लिसनिंग. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर कि हर एक के पास डॉक्टरेट डिग्री ऐसे ही at the back of the hand नहीं होती है. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and which you obviously have earned so far. So we would like to listen from you, and we would like to listen to you. So I am a layman in terms of agriculture and farming. How important is it for our survival?
How important is what? I lost you in between.
Okay, so I'll repeat because there must have been a glitch. I am saying I'm a layman. I don't know much about agriculture in depth. जैसे आपको पता है farming के बारे में. I, as a common person,
Yeah.
going to an office, मैं media में हूँ, other person is doing some other thing. How important is agriculture and farming? How important is it for our survival?
So, Athar, I would like to take it from the top or from the background.
Yeah.
If I talk in terms of being a breeder or being a geneticist, my fellow co-mates will understand that. So if I talk about my progenitors, if we talk about our progenitors, if you observe, one school of thought about Adam and Eve explains the tree of knowledge and how they were told not to have anything from it, but they had,
Hmm.
and hence the world started. So I
Yeah.
think it was a rightly, purely, directly, indirectly been told to us that this is something which is basic. This is why you were innocent enough in the heaven, but you have been brought
Yeah.
to earth just
Yeah.
for this reason. Because of this reason, this fire is attached to your belly. So this is important to
Okay.
every mankind, no matter what religion, region, caste, color, or whatever.
Okay.
I take it that way when you're asking me what agriculture means. So
That's
I think
really
that explains it all.
interesting.
So what is the
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it
go
caught
ahead.
my attention when you said, how is it? Because this is the basic thing we are here for, right? Our
I mean,
evolution
I've
genesis
heard about this.
starts with this.
I
Please.
mean, we are told about this story time and again in our, घरों में भी हमें we grew up with this story Adam and Eve, आदम और हवा के बारे में and tree of life के बारे में. मैंने कभी इस तरह से इसको अप्रोच नहीं किया कि it's about tree, the fruit, it's about how they ate it and उसके बाद this burden that came onto us कि now that अब हम मासूम थे, अब हम आप निकाले गए, now you have to survive. In order for that, in order for us to survive, you बेसिकली हमें यहाँ पे सजा के तौर पे भेजा गया है एंड सजा के तौर पे सर्वाइवल इज
Exactly.
वन ऑफ द मेन थिंग दैट इज गोइंग टू बी आई नेवर मतलब आई हैव नेवर इमेजिन्ड
Right.
इट दिस वे बट नाउ दैट यू आर सेइंग इट इट फिट्स राइटली कि हाँ ट्री ऑफ नॉलेज फ्रूट एंड
Right.
देन ऑफ
हमारे
कोर्स
साथ
फार्मिंग एग्रीकल्चर
हमारे साथ दोजक भेजा गया है साथ में which is need for food, your belly,
so
and every
so
fight starts and
basically
ends with
yeah,
that.
so basically human survival is like strongly linked and central around agriculture and farming if we say so.
Of course it is. Unavoidably, inevitably, this is basic and it will remain till we die. This is basic.
Okay.
So I think that explains how it is important to everybody now.
It is indeed, it is. Now that you said it, it fits the context. अच्छा, मोटा मोटी अगर मैं बताऊं पूछूं आपसे ये बात कि take us through the past, okay? Like humans were hunter gatherers, that's what we are told. हमें हिस्ट्री में भी यही पढ़ाया जाता है कि हम पहले hunter gatherers थे. उसके बाद इवॉल्व होके we started farming and उसके बाद कहाँ कहाँ तक पहुंचे. Could you tell us something about that past also, so that we'll come to the present and then we'll come to the future? As of now, tell us about your this past, that present, and then future.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good question, and that's how the dots will join, as I hinted to Adam and Eve. So yeah, I think that is how this struggle begun, and when the school of thought, as it says. So when they landed, they had to struggle and begin with every search whatsoever, because अब existence का सवाल है ना. Now it is survival, and then survival of fittest also, which
Yeah,
follows.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to you are again inevitably and involuntarily you are a wanderer. You have to search. So that's why I'm saying basic is not food, shelter, and what we say, it's food, shelter, and cloths. I think better and simple is food and it ends with food only. Because the hunt started with food only, because that was the survival.
Hmm.
Later, when the community started developing, later then there was this idea of having some blame and game. Then we started covering ourselves, whether that be that is with evolution, like as we talk about. That was the natural process of it, that we were evolving as human beings and as creatures. So that is how when there were only two, or when there was only one, there was no community developed, and then you are wandering here and there, and people are kind of, I don't know how that sense came. Should not have been, things would have been simple, but that sense
Hmm.
evolved. That is probably what evolution is. And then we started,
Yeah.
there is a complete era of being wanderers and having your survival on wild things, which we called as wild relatives and wild progenitors in breeding terminology. And that is how then again the survival, the training, we learn as we are ashraful makhlukat, the best creations of the universe. So we learned that this needs to be domesticated, this needs to be domesticated, this needs to be domesticated. 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 This needs the threat, whether animals, other coexisting creatures. So all of that evolved and we started domestication, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
domestication, something like wild swept away from the picture, and now we have domesticated things. Then the
Yeah.
taste of thing, what
Yeah.
suits you, you started
Yes.
taking care and nurturing that only.
Ji. Hmm.
Probably that led to rice, wheat, if I talk in layman language, maize, and everything, the
Hmm.
staple crops. Because
Yeah.
that wanderer, that first person is the actual planned breeder. That's how we speak in terms of planned breeding.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
the actual farmer and we
Yeah.
select from the heterogeneous group, then we make it a common group which we call as a homogeneous group, which has desirable things, which as a consumer, as a
Yeah.
human being, my likability for the product, it has started then
Yeah.
only. We are doing only
Yeah.
1%
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
it, I would say, on record.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were breeders, they were actual farmers. That's how this shape took place, that out of natural diversity which was present in terms
Yeah.
of food and flora and fauna, we chose what was our likability traits. And that's how
Yeah.
we ended with few that we have in our hand as of now. And we are scientifically going back to wild again, introgressing genes,
Yeah.
harnessing those traits from them. The cycle is going on. That's how we are where today.
It's
And
interesting
heading
जब आप
forward, we
evolution के
are
बारे
going
में
towards processed that we will
yeah.
probably.
Yeah. So it's interesting like when we talk about evolution या इर्तिका के बारे में जो इंसानी सोच या इंसानी इर्तिका की ये पूरा सफर है इसको मैं इस तरह लेना चाहूंगा कि so we discovered
We
or
need
we
to
were given
stop.
this gift of
अच्छा आपका
knowledge that
लोग.
कि you can you know आप फार्मिंग और एग्रीकल्चर खेती बाड़ी कर सकते हैं या आप उससे ये सेंस हुआ हंटर
Just
गैदरर्स
hold
थे
on,
कि
Athar. Hold on. Battery.
ओके Okay, so basically, if I understand human irtika या human evolution, वो इस तरह से कि हम hunter gatherers थे, तो most of our time would go in hunting and gathering because of course पेट के लिए तो ग़िज़ा चाहिए, बढ़ने के लिए survival के लिए तो ग़िज़ा चाहिए. पर जब when we discovered in terms of evolution of our minds also, when we discovered कि okay, अब हम food security इस तरह से कर सकते हैं, we can do farming also. तो हमारे पास टाइम बचा जो हम फार्मिंग करके जो हमारा फूड सिक्योरिटी हुआ उससे हम जंप अप कर सके और वी वर एबल टू थिंक बियॉन्ड आवर सर्वाइवल राइट इवेंचुअली वी केप्ट ग्रोइंग इन दैट सेंस अब हम प्रेजेंट में इस तरह से है दैट वी हैव बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी बेटर रिसोर्सेज एट हैंड कि हमने वो फूड सिक्योरिटी पहले हम सिक्योर्ड हैं in terms of food. So we are able to think beyond our planet also. We ventured out in space and we started doing like wonderful things. बाकी planets, in fact, बाकी galaxies को हम प्रबुद्ध करने लगे, हमको प्रबुद्ध करने लगे. So this thing, I would understand it this way कि ये हमारी inheritance थी जो हम आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं और अभी हम current situation में कहाँ पे है we would like to know from you कि what are the new things that are happening in terms of technology and this lineage that is growing and are we really taking care of that.
Your question has a lot of internet hanging. I couldn't make out anything out of it. पूरा hang हो रहा है
Okay,
video.
it was a hunter gatherer situation जहाँ पे most of the time would go in our survival to gather food and just feed ourselves. We couldn't think beyond that. Then we came up with farming. उससे हमारा फूड सिक्योरिटी मिला, हमें सिक्योरिटी मिली फूड की. वी वर एबल टू स्पेंड सम टाइम बियॉन्ड आवर सर्वाइवल फूड गैदरिंग के लिए. तो हम कुछ और चीज़ों पे फोकस करने लगे. धीरे-धीरे हमारा कल्चर डेवलप हुआ, हमें आर्ट के लिए टाइम मिल गया, बाकी चीज़ों के लिए टाइम मिला. इवेंचुअली वी वर एबल टू डेवलप टेक्नोलॉजी बिकॉज़ हमारा फूड सिक्योरिटी था. वी हैव अ सिक्योरिटी टुवर्ड्स because of food and because of our domestication. अब हम प्रेजेंट में यहाँ पे हैं दैट वी हैव डेवलप्ड टेक्नोलॉजिकली, काफी एडवांस हो चुके हैं, हम स्पेस में जा चुके हैं, ये सारी चीजें हैं. सो आई वुड लिंक एवरीथिंग टू द एग्रीकल्चर ऑफ द बेसिक्स. अब मुझे आप ये बताओ, इन टर्म्स ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एंड फार्मिंग, are we using technology to our benefit, and are we really taking care of this inheritance that we got?
Yeah, that's another wonderfully asked question. So, Athar, when it comes to technology, it will, that's my belief, complement what is basic, what is conventional. You can never ever think that any supreme technology is going to replace the natural process of anything.
Hmm.
Mark my words, natural process, conventional process of anything is not going to be replaced by any form of technology whatsoever. It will only complement it, it will support it. Of course, again, with that, you will be having the benefits and ill effects of that usage. And you have to be, see, if you see, there are always, we know there are always two sides to the same coin, right? So when I am
Yeah.
bringing technology, of course,
Hmm.
I would be thinking that my school of thought is I am curtailing on some labor, I'm curtailing on some cost, I'm curtailing on some time, but at the same time, as a complement or as a support, you are at the same time
Hmm.
curtailing something on the other side of it,
Hmm.
which comes then tomorrow
Hmm.
as
Hmm. Hmm.
a ill effect. Can I continue? Are you there?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. You keep on going. It could be a glitch. It's fine. You keep on going. We are able to hear you.
ओके, क्योंकि वो घूमता है ना, मुझे लगता है शायद स्टॉप हो. So that means, having said that, is that let's not be dependent on it, and let's not think that this technology is going to solve my entire problem, or this technology is something which is not of any use to me. It is nothing like that. See,
Hmm.
every effort is to be encouraged, and every things, of course, being
Yeah.
aware of where the ditch is. When you're
Yeah.
taking a support system, you have to know that where the ditch is, and you need to know
Hmm.
how to lid it. And then
Hmm.
identify at the same time that another ditch would be there in the periphery, and I need to lid
Hmm.
that again. That's a vision, and that is how you can actually not only pinpoint that is this being of some help to me, or this technology is being deficient, rather than
Hmm.
better take the best, but be prepared that it will bring something tomorrow, a disaster. That is a ditch,
Hmm.
prepare for the lid. That is our goal.
Okay. Understood. So if I understand in my layman terms, it is like कि best practices जो हमारे हैं वो हम उस तरह से जो conventional mode से ले, और technology से we take best, जिससे हम वो दोनों चीजें combine करके we'll be able to improve upon our own traditional जो practices हैं, because you cannot replace them at all, क्योंकि technological advance कितनी भी हो, it cannot
Exactly.
suffice.
There will be an improvisation for sure,
Hmm.
to what the natural process is.
Okay. Okay,
And with
since we're
that
talking about
improvement
the
also, you are, if you are thinking that there's an improvement, at the same time, we are lacking on the other side of it, which we see like green revolution. The biggest example is green revolution
yeah, yeah,
related to agriculture,
yeah, yeah. मैं वही this is where
where we
I'm going to
see the
come
positive
towards.
of it. Of course, we cannot underestimate that.
Yeah, yeah. Coming to that bit only, the way I frame my जो पूरा ये conversation है कि We need to take best practices out of our technology. We need to take हमारा जो conventional mode of farming और agriculture है उन दोनों को combine करके marry them together and then we can have best results. So my point is कि अगर हमारे पास technological advancement है, अगर हमारे पास we are evolved so much in terms of our thought processes, in terms of where we are placed in the universe, why is still why is there still things like hunger ratio is so high, and why is there so many famines? Why can't we just why can't we just improve upon those things? What is happening?
Yeah, so then there are many factors to it, just simply other than and what we are supporting it in terms of technologies, in terms of research. See, Athar, this story does not end with what we produce and what the story has so many factors other than that also. You know that we are
Yeah,
surplus. If we talk about India only, we are surplus.
yeah,
We were in a stage when we got independence. We were in that stage. So they call it that it was ship to mouth
yeah,
because we used to import it all. So it was ship to mouth. We used to
yeah.
ship it from abroad,
Hmm,
right? So that was the situation. Then was the famine. Then were the global wars, and then somehow struggling through it, doing the best of the capacities by all the scientific people, Norman Borlaug, and everybody to talk of, MS. Swaminathan. They worked together because scientific and technology was brought hand in hand, and the Green Revolution took birth, right? So
yeah,
we became self sufficient in terms of South Asia, if I
yeah.
talk about, to begin
Hmm,
with, and then India. So that means
hmm,
research and technology was complementing each other, and they have done a
hmm,
remarkable job, which is
hmm.
abhi tak bhi we are taking fruits of that, है ना? We are harvesting fruits of that, and that's how
Yeah,
then we
yeah,
started becoming shipping it back. Now we are
yeah,
surplus. So ship
yeah,
to mouth, self-sufficient, surplus. Okay.
yeah,
Now your
yeah.
relevant question is, why is there again hunger? Why is there mainly why is there hunger, and what are we, what good is happening with all these technologies and what research is doing? So that is what where I want to
Yeah.
bring you to. There are many other
Hmm,
factors that come into play. There are policies,
hmm,
there are regulations, there are other areas where our hands are tied. See,
hmm,
everybody has a role to play,
hmm,
designated role, and every role has its own relaxation and you're tied up with it.
hmm, hmm,
Reservations. So
hmm.
I think that plays the entire role in this
Yeah,
entire dogma is full.
yeah.
If you go to mandis, you will see that there is a surplus amount of wheat and rice ऐसे ही फैला पड़ा है. चूहे खा
Hmm,
लेते हैं, but वो जाता नहीं है to the one who is actually supposed to, be the first buyer of it, या जिसका हक बनता है उसको खाने का. So this
hmm,
line जो बीच में जाता है, I won't say that nobody is doing his job. Everybody is doing their job. Can 90% do it leisurely, but everybody puts in efforts. But I think in those efforts, there are some highs and lows, which is why the surplus and the
hmm,
technology usage does not reach to them who actually are in need of it. The prevention part probably is somewhere
hmm,
not efficiently working, or maybe the outreach is not that efficient, या कुछ है उसमें और factors that they cannot extensively increase the outreach and reach to the farmer. Adding to that is, of course, the reservations. As I said,
hmm,
when you are in chair,
hmm,
everything is not under
hmm.
your control. There are many other things that come into play. So those reservations, those regulations, these this imaginary border when you have between countries, this all comes and plays a role. It is, let's not just, as I said, pinpoint on research. What research? That means research is not doing anything. That's why we are again food deprived. No,
Okay, so Ali, I
research
have
is
a
doing
very
everything
layman
it
type of
can,
a question.
but other
I have a
factors
layman type of a question here.
what?
I have a very layman type of question here,
Yeah, please.
which is this: कि so you are saying हमारे पास फूड के नाम पे abundance है, we have surplus. It's just that कि policies fail us. हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी भी अच्छी खासी है, we know practices अच्छे से, बट द फैक्ट इज कि रोड ब्लॉक यहाँ आता है कि हमारे पास पॉलिसीज ऐसी है, हमारे हाथ दोनों इस तरह से बंधे हुए हैं कि फूड जो हमारे पास सरप्लस है वो माउथ्स तक नहीं पहुंचता, वो उन चीजों तक, वो इंसानों तक नहीं पहुंचता जिनके लिए जरूरी है. आई यू सेइंग कि जितने बिलियन लोग इस दुनिया में हैं, द करंट पॉपुलेशन, वी हैव सफिशिएंट टू फीड ईच एंड एवरी वन?
See, when we are saying this, that policies has some problem. Not that 100% that policy formation has a problem. No. Probably system is most of the times very supportive, but execution of those policies, interpretation of those policies is where that again plays 50% of the, you know, when I talk that extension of policies, extension of research, extension of other things, extension means like you are extending it. I'm talking in terms of agriculture department, suppose, for example, here, if we are talking about. So extension program has to be really such robust that what you have developed, आपको convince भी तो करना है ना पहले मुझे. I think there is also our first barrier is that. Then, yes, policies would be policies, most aspects of it. Again, as I'm saying, that let's not focus on that because that is meager. What is important is what you have been given in terms of policy. Are we really harvesting the fruit of that also to its maximum potential? No. हम तो उतने का भी नहीं कर पा रहे हैं ना जितना हमें दिया जा रहा है. So we cannot pinpoint on policy, we cannot pinpoint on science, we cannot pinpoint on technologies. The point is, इसको totality में लेके, it is our responsibility, my responsibility, which I am taking today as an individual. It is my responsibility as well that whatever I given in terms of policy, research, extension, whatever bare minimum I have, let me take it to another level.
Okay.
That is where I would like to tell you that is the vision of Sapling Circle, for example, or any other startup for that matter.
मेरा एक मासूमाना सा सवाल ये है,
Take on the responsibility, human being first, and then as a citizen next.
Okay, मेरा मासूमाना सा सवाल, क्या हमारे पास इतना फूड है कि सबको खिला सके, जितने भी हमारी वर्ल्ड पॉपुलेशन है? डू वी हैव इनफ?
If you talk about India as a country, definitely you can go to records.
I'm talking about the whole planet.
We are crossing, we are today almost, previous financial year, if 2021, 315 million tons of wheat was produced. That's surplus.
Wow.
If you go by rice, we are second after China in rice among production. Wheat mein we are second in the world. Sugarcane mein we are topmost. We are Asia ka, world ka topmost, India. So how can you say that we are not surplus? We are surplus.
Okay.
We are sufficient and then surplus.
So we are sufficient in the surplus. So basically, अगर right policies, right mix of every जो भी यहाँ पे क्या बोलते हैं उसको, कंट्रीब्यूटर है इस पूरे प्रोसेस में, अगर वो अपने हिसाब से 100% दे, तो ये सरप्लस फूड भी उस तरह से इस्तेमाल होगा कि कोई रहेगा नहीं उसके उस एम्बिट में। ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड। नाउ कमिंग टू अनदर पॉइंट, हमें बात बहुत बार ये सुनने में मिलता है दैट ओके ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, ग्लोबल कूलिंग, व्हाटएवर दो कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं अभी के, ये इट्स अ मिथ। जैसे डोनाल्ड ट्रम्प भी कहते हैं इट्स अ हॉक्स, एवरीथिंग इज हॉक्स, ये ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, वी आर ग्रूमिंग, हम ग्रो कर रहे हैं एंड कुछ लोग तरक्की पसंद नहीं है तो वो चाहते हैं कि इसमें रोड़े अटका दे। इज ग्लोबल वार्मिंग अ मिथ?
It's like before I am very everybody is, as you said, a celebrated figure, and I am just a human being. I am getting in trouble with every question, as I can see, because I am an opinionated person, Athar. I highly say that on every subject you have your opinion is divided, but you should own yours. My opinion is on this. My opinion is that first I would like to counter question you. You tell me, what is your observation as a human being? What is you don't need to be a scientist, you don't need to be educated, you just need to be a human being who is here for some 28, 29 years, as I can see you, a young guy. What is your observation? What's happening to climate? Or what's happening to weather? Chalo, weather to chodo, what's happening to climate if I ask you counter question?
Well, I would say कि we are going through such a disturbed global phenomenon in terms of weather, in terms of our environment. It is evident. I mean, I have been traveling to a lot of places within India, और मैंने देखा है, मतलब बहुत सारी stories हम करते हैं on agriculture and on the horticulture, basically farming and everything related to that. We have seen बहुत जबरदस्त तरीके से जो हार्मफुल चेंजेस आई हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रैक्टिसेस, इन टर्म्स ऑफ द प्रोडक्शन। वी वर आई रिसेंटली वेंट टू हिमाचल एंड आई कुड टॉक टू द फार्मर्स, और वो उनका यही कहना था कि ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, कुछ सालों से, कुछ वक्त से, वी कुड सी द डिक्लाइन इन प्रोडक्शन। नो मैटर हम कितना भी टेक्नोलॉजिकली एडवांस हो रहे हैं या हम कितनी भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं उसको रिवाइव करने की, बट इट इज ऑन द डिक्लाइन। और अगर मैं बचपन की भी बात करूं, व्हेन आई वाज ग्रोइंग अप इन कश्मीर, आई वुड सी स्नोफॉल यूज्ड टू बी मच मच बेटर देन इट इज नाउ। इट इज ऑन द डिक्लाइन अगेन। So things are changing. I could see that from my perspective. But like
That's
as I
perfect.
said, layman, like many others here, you are the expert. You tell us, is global warming really a hoax or is it happening?
You have a good escape there saying that, which you are not. Anyway, so yeah, of course, as you yourself observed, and that is what the observation is, that if you talk about climate nowadays for over 2 decades, I think that it is erratic. The word is, I think, erratic, right? You have erratic rainfall, you have untimely rainfalls, you don't have a snowfall proper in time. You don't see it's narrowing down the window. Cold का जो season है, that season is narrowing in every. If we talk about our country only, let's start begin with our country only. हमारी country में ही you have a diverse climate. We are huge on diversity, right?
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
see, if you start from north, it is
yeah,
shrinking. As you said, there is
yeah.
no snowfall is one thing. There is another factor that जो normal average temperature भी आपका है वो भी rise हो चुका है. Kashmir never
Hmm.
used to see 36, 37,
Yes,
38. It's reaching there,
absolutely. Yes.
right? Then there is untimely, and then there is no snowfall also at times. It used to be, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
my bachpan, 37 years or 35 years, though I suffered, it used to be 2 months full snow, January and February.
Hmm.
Then rain
Yeah,
in March and
yeah,
April and May. आज क्या है?
yeah.
आज ये था कि दिल्ली में मुझे यहाँ बारिश हो रही थी दिसंबर में,
Hmm.
जनवरी में, वहां पे धूप निकली थी, खिली हुई. So what is that? How can we ignore, and how can we say that we are not even observant enough to say that there is some change, whether that is a huge one or a minor one, but there is a change which is observed everywhere. That is one factor.
Hmm.
What you feel, this is a touch and feel thing. When you talk about temperature, thing is, if I take it in terms of agriculture, as you said,
Hmm.
production affect ho rahi, that's a very valid point. When we talk about wheat, for example, you used a very technical term.
Hmm.
So we have heat tolerant wheat now because there is there is terminal stress when it is about अभी बैसाखी के बाद हार्वेस्ट होगा तो ये
Hmm.
टेम्परेचर स्ट्रेस इतना ज्यादा है क्योंकि इंक्रीज है
Hmm.
टेम्परेचर में दैट रेन फ्लिंग एंड थ्रेशिंग एंड एवरीथिंग बिकम्स अ प्रॉब्लम एंड यील्ड खराब हो जाता है आपका right? So you
Yeah.
have a valid
Yeah.
point which you made. But another thing is, had you ever heard in your childhood that citrus is growing in Kashmir? हमने कभी सुना था कि नींबू भी
It's
उगता है वहां पे?
always like we imported out from बाहर से क्योंकि हमारा क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशन वैसे है नहीं.
Because
This
it
is
is
what
a
I
fruit of
heard.
tropics. A fruit of tropics, right? And Kashmir is totally temperate.
Yes.
Citrus वहां भी आ रहा है.
Wow.
What is that? That is climate change.
Yeah. Hmm.
If I am thinking of, if we are thinking like in Sapling Circle, there are many other companies who are thinking some crops, we are trying some new crops. How are
Yeah.
those new crops getting introduced? Why
Yeah.
are we doing that effort of putting in research on that? Because
Yeah.
there is climate change.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
These are basic
Okay.
things, layman things which I'm telling you from agriculture. Lychee is been trying in
Understood. So
Kashmir,
we would say,
25 acres.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
It's
we
only
would
because
say
it's
it's
a fruit
evident.
of, it's again a
You
fruit
don't,
of semi-tropics. Kerala वगैरह का fruit है
yeah. So
और
I would
कर्नाटका
say you
वगैरह
don't need to be an
का fruit
expert
है.
or you
It's a
don't need
fruit
to
of that
go.
area. Now it's getting avocado has been tried and tested in Kashmir. So what is that?
Yeah.
That is climate change. You don't have to see
So I
this
would say,
static and graph. See, I am a person typically against. I'm so sorry whether I have that whether I have that caliber to say, but I will say as a
hmm,
bare minimum human being that I
huh,
don't go. I don't see statistics as something where you can make an actual analysis of what is happening. You can have an idea of
hmm,
the picture by statistics. You cannot get into the ground. Your one does not mean one. What you see as one going high in graph
hmm,
and showing
hmm.
that there is 2 degree and it is not a climate change. Actually, it is over an average of years and days and everything. But आप every day में देखिए आपको हर दिन हर minute climate change दिखेगा. So,
Right,
so
right.
that's
So
my
if you,
totally
so I
my
would say if
opinion on
you,
this.
right. So I would say if your eyes are open, if you are आपकी आंखें खुली हुई है तो आपको किसी एक्सपर्ट की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी ये समझने के लिए कि that global warming is real. It's not hoax. Okay, coming to another question which is very important. And जिस तरह से I've been seeing films that are coming, books that are coming कि okay, there's this film Interstellar, if you have watched it. It's about कि the earth is doomed in a way कि हम टेक्नोलॉजिकली काफी एडवांस है. वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ इंजीनियर्स, अ लॉट ऑफ साइंटिस्ट्स, बट वी डोंट हैव इनफ फार्मर्स. तो उससे ये होता है कि नॉट एवरी माउथ इज बीइंग फेड. तो वी आर लुकिंग टुवर्ड्स द इंटरस्टेलर जर्नी. वी आर गोइंग टू अदर गैलेक्सी और अदर प्लैनेट्स. वी ट्राई टू रीच आउट किसी और प्लैनेट पे so that we'll be able to start it again. So things like these are very scary if you see. एंड रिपोर्ट्स जो ग्लोबली आती हैं, कहीं पे सुनामी आई, कहीं पे इरेटिक रेन्स आए, फ्लड्स आए, ऐसे मौसम में जब यू आर नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग स्नोफॉल आ गया, जिस टाइम पे स्नोफॉल होता है उस टाइम पे स्नोफॉल हुआ नहीं, थिंग्स लाइक दीज. सो माय क्वेश्चन इज, आर वी रियली डूम्ड इन आवर वे अहेड? क्या हमारा फ्यूचर जो है वो डूम्ड है? इज इट लाइक दिस स्कैरी, और हमें सिर्फ डराया जा रहा है? एंड इफ देयर इज एनी होप.
Yeah, so I could hear it and I could make some sense there was disruption again. Again, a very, very intelligent and and a very envisioned question, Athar. The way you are not so naive in it, and you're putting me one on one.
Hmm.
That's what I like about you. Actually, it's always good to talk to you in person. It's always great to talk to you this way. So
Well,
what
I'll
is
take it as a compliment. I'm flattered. So, are
you
we
should take it
doomed?
as a compliment. You should. So yeah. So my experience or my thought process and my average kind of knowledge about it says, see, I'm a positive person. I will give a positive reply only first. So future is always better. I'll go by that. I go always by that. Future is always better. I'll support it when I'm saying it.
Yeah,
Future is always better. Yes, there can be fear, as you're saying. It can be a fear of anything then, but it will be better. Why? Because we are fearing it today, we are fearing future which we cannot see, but every element of this universe is equally evolving with every stress faced. I think we are on the same page when I say this. We are not only evolving, every single element is evolving. That is what universe is, and that is what the balance of, that is the beauty of universe, right? So when I'm saying this, which means future dikh raha hai ki it can be dark. Yes, there is possibility. I'm saying it can be
hmm,
dark, but it will be better at the end. Because
hmm,
because combination of forces will be evolving, and we will be trying to fight against it and make up ourselves. As Darwin goes, survival of the fittest. I'm coming back again. We will come through
yeah,
it, so it will be better. But yes, the fair,
yeah,
let's talk about that. So yes, there are some red areas, of course, as you said. Climate change hai, so there is
yeah,
erratic rainfall, snowfall. As we said, there is rise in temperature. There is When there is rise in temperature, so there is drought possibilities are getting more. Your those crops which require immense water, which is rice, for example, which is sugarcane, for example, highly needing in need of water, they will be affected, which is happening.
hmm,
We can see rice business is millets. We are trying to bring back a different, altogether working scientific. Those guys, we people are doing a good job, honestly. They are trying to bring in new crops. It's a difficult task to do. So when you don't have basic thing, when your water is depleting, even the desert plant would also come to danger. इतना तो चाहिए ही ना, थोड़ा सा
hmm,
उसको जितना पुल करेगा for survival.
hmm,
So yes, challenges are huge. It comes to climate. It comes to
hmm,
the resistance of every crop. To overcome that, you have a
hmm,
tolerance, you have a resistance,
hmm,
you have an escape.
hmm,
Okay,
hmm.
so you have tolerant varieties and crops. You have which escape it by shifting the timelines of sowing and harvesting, and then you have the totally resistant and the tolerant ones. So fear is there, challenge
Yeah,
is there.
hmm.
And to add to that, another element I'll add to that, who will breed and who will help to breed, that challenge is also there. You have a
Oh,
migration of 22.5 million people are migrating
hmm.
overseas every year. If we talk about the rice
Okay,
bowl
so
of India, Punjab,
I'm sorry to
which
interrupt you, Soleha, but I think your camera is again, आपका कैमरा शायद बंद हो गया है. So
हाँ
your
बंद हो
voice
गया,
is
लेकिन
clear,
मैंने
but your camera is closed.
हाँ
Could you
कैमरा बंद
just
हो गया.
have a
You
look
have
at
to
it?
do something. You
Well,
have to do, हाँ
right
हो
now,
गया.
yeah, now it is coming back.
मेरे
Yeah,
इसमें control
go
panel
ahead, go
है.
ahead. Please go ahead.
So when I'm adding another element to it, which is immigration,
Yeah.
our youth is migrating from our country. 2.5 million on record every year are
Hmm.
migrating abroad, overseas. And
Hmm.
when we talk
Hmm.
about the potential states actually which have remarkably done well in green revolution, Punjab first in first place, rice bowl of India, right? I mean food bowl of India. So उसमें ही माइग्रेशन देखो कितना है. So
Hmm.
when we are not able, I am not questioning them. It's a choice, but I am trying to tell you that your when you they are the roots of agriculture, right?
Hmm.
जब
Hmm.
रूट्स ही आपको छोड़ के जा रहे हैं, challenge is even bigger as you can target it. You can imagine the challenge, but I am little more, in danger when I can see practical
Hmm.
rounds में when we are conducting research in universities and in corporate sector, हमें labor ही नहीं मिल रहा है. Labor is such a big hustle. You're not
Wow.
getting labor, and then labor cost is getting higher, and you
Yeah.
don't have people actually. Forget about labor which comes on the basic level of help. The people who
Yeah.
are willing or unwilling to be farmer and produce, that is shrinking.
So it is such a resource drain, basically, if
So
we think of
means
that.
खेती करने वाला भी अवेलेबल नहीं है, और जो बेसिक
Hmm.
मिनिमम हेल्प है लेबर की वो भी अवेलेबल नहीं है.
Hmm.
Then we are
Hmm.
coming up with these high-tech technologies, as you said, which are a good thing, but we are solving the problem again. Again, नहीं कर सकते, डाटा देख के एनालिसिस नहीं कर सकते. We have to get into field. That attitude is also changing with technologies.
Hmm.
We are sitting on the laptop, everything is on the data, AI
Hmm.
generate है, softwares हैं, सब कुछ है. We are in under fan of AC, and
Hmm.
everybody is doing that. Not only the scientific stuff, I'm saying, I am coming from that, but that is what we are trained towards now. क्योंकि सॉफ्टवेयर आया, टेक्नोलॉजी आया, we are forgetting field. And field itself, the GDP is
Hmm.
19%, not only because IT and blah 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 has taken a stride, just because of that, but because of the people who are willing to do the work.
We would like to wait for a while because I guess उनका फिर से pause हुआ है. So let's wait. That is something to do with the technology. As we were talking about technology, and here Solia is frozen because of the technology. So let's wait for the revival. Yeah, Solia. So you were talking about immigration and the potential drain that is happening right now in India.
Yes, Athar. Yes. So the point is that it is not only, as I said, it is not only the climate change, it is again, you have this drain of people also, because we have lot of immigration from especially those areas which are the producers in major role players of green revolution, those states. जब वहां से जाता है, it's not just a person who is shifting, it's not just those 2.5 million people, it is the complete ideology. पूरा आइडियोलॉजी शिफ्ट है. दैट मीन्स फार्मिंग दे फील नो मोर इज attached to them, they are no more attached to it. When you're not attached to
Hmm.
anything, you don't want to produce it. And that is how
Hmm.
आपका 19% जीडीपी अगर है, let's not every time say that because IT has done blah blah blah, medicine has done blah blah blah. No, we could also do that and maintain, and at least maintain it till 30%. It was 50% when there was green revolution के time पे, when we were fighting before that, it was still 50%. Of course,
Hmm.
क्योंकि कुछ और था ही नहीं, एग्रीकल्चर ही था. But we could have maintained, as you were saying in the beginning of the interview, with these technologies and even research at par, we could have
Hmm.
maintained at least more than 19%. So that is because I think willingly, unwillingly, the producers are not willing to take that and continue that as an occupation. That is a major threat than what naturally is happening with us in terms of nature by climate change. Because this is intentional,
Oh,
this is under our control. when we are
Understood.
immigrating. That is a complete ideology which is leaving. Yeah, yeah.
Understood. So that also needs to be in consideration moving forward. So my another question again, मेरा एक
That is a
मासूमाना
bigger
सा
stretch.
सवाल, बचपन से 8th से 10th में हर एक क्लास में हमें पढ़ाया जाता है एनवायरमेंटल साइंस के बारे में, अफॉरेस्टेशन, डिफॉरेस्टेशन, फार्मिंग, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस. I fail to understand why is it not getting translated into practical applications. वो हमें बाहर की दुनिया में, प्रैक्टिकल दुनिया में क्यों नहीं देखने को मिलती? अगर हमें ये पता बताया जाता है, ये नॉलेज हमारे साथ शेयर की जाती है. What is wrong? Where are we going wrong in terms of our education?
After that is another bouncer to me. Wants to own a responsibility, and I will expect the same from each and every other person. Only government policy, people, you, somebody who is not doing that, and why are not they doing it? Why deforestation in books is not coming in practical now? It is not, I should not blame you for that. I should blame myself for that. I am also going through that books. I am also reading that. I am also to tell this to you that let's plant. So this is my responsibility as well. अगर किताब में लिखा है और एडवर्टीजमेंट भी आ रहा है, see we had world forest myself and I planted 20 trees only. ज़्यादा मैं नहीं कर पाई. But I did that. Why? Because I can feel that. So it is our responsibility as well of, as I said, human being first, citizen next.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to take control of that. Then I would add to that कि development that you have to build buildings and you have to come up with companies and you have to come up with roads. So that means
Yeah.
जितना आपको forest cover दिख रहा है वो तो जाएगा ही, ठीक है, livelihood के लिए भी जाएगा और इन चीजों इस development के लिए भी जाएगा. That does not mean we will stop that development. We have to find an alternative solution, which means अगर हम 10 plant लगा रहे थे तो अब हमें 20 लगाने चाहिए, ये मुझे लगाने चाहिए. I, Soleha, should plant 20 because I can also see something is happening. I can observe. I am now not even millennial. I am Generation Z. So Generation Z, digital children we have. And this is my responsibility tomorrow as a mother, as a father, not only as a teacher, that I'll pinpoint कि टीचर क्यों नहीं कर रही है, गवर्नमेंट क्यों नहीं कर रही है, कॉर्पोरेट क्यों नहीं कर रहा है. नो, मैं क्यों नहीं कर रही हूँ. I have to own that responsibility. I am also educated. I can also see as an illiterate what is happening. मुझे गर्मी लग रही है. So that is the basic thing I want to say. We have to own the responsibility now. Gone are the days when we should talk about gender. Gone are the days when we should talk about education. Gone are the days when we should think of, again, trying to put a lid over it. The point is, take courage to put a lid over it. Identify that other lids are also coming. Now is the time when man, women, transgender have potentially done well, and we need to take that stance and responsibility to build resources and do our best. हम अभी भी नहीं फंस सकते हैं. Happy Women's Day, Happy Men's Day, Happy Children's Day. Let's not give this to each other. We are Generation Nazim in 2024. We have practical challenges to face, and we have proved that women has done best, man has done best, transgender is doing best. We have proved that. Point is, go and own it. That is the only thing. Simple.
So basically, education, we need to have robust thinking, thought process, approach also in terms of our daily life or in terms of our responsibility, shared responsibility, basically. That's how we are going to move forward. Anyway, so coming back to another question, I fail to understand one thing, which I really want to ask you this question. You had I would say comfortable position in life. I mean, you have achieved a lot, or you have been in a government job and everything was okay. Why did you choose a different path?
a different part, this enterprise, because I have
Yes, the
always chosen
enterprise.
a different
Why
path.
did you try
So
to
which path
venture
are you
out
talking
on your
about? This
own?
enterprise, right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Athar, that is a very dare question and a repetitive question and I want to answer it because I love answering it. It has nothing to do with my rational talk that I am giving or rational ideology or practical point of view. It is something which is spiritual side of it, or I don't know which side of it came and it spoke to me. So there was definitely, first of all, though I am known to you, to everybody else, that I am abnormal. I don't go by basic normal things. My mother used to say, why can't you think simple and normal? So I have a complicated mind, and I have answer to everything in world probably an opinion, but I don't have an answer to this. Why am I like this? Why do I think like this abnormally? So now accepted that I am abnormal, appropriately abnormal. But it was very there because there was an inner call for over some time that something is to be done, but I did not have courage
Hmm.
to take that. Probably time
Hmm.
was not in place to take.
Hmm.
And when I'm talking about the lean period that I had in Delhi with Ministry of Agriculture, that is where I connected to the. That is where the cause connected to me and gave me the courage to think in this direction. So it got conceived. I call Sapling Circle as my first child, and another
Hmm.
would be coming up soon. We will be having a talk on that as well. So this first child got conceived during that period that I felt that something is to be done for farming community and needy. Most importantly, I will every time say needy first, and specifically in farming community broadly, because needy can be you also, needy can be tatas also, needy can be reduced to. And when
Anyone.
certain natural spiritual things started, I don't know what happened there. It came as a message, and
Hmm.
whom you're seeing today is sort of, I can see an evolved self in myself.
Hmm.
I can see that my DNA has winded, unwinded, and it has transformed to this level what I can see myself. So when I was in recently, lately with company MNC, during those 6 months there was something that was happening with me.
Hmm.
I don't know. Tomorrow this can be international. That is the scope of social
We
media.
hope
But I would
we
like to
hope
talk
it
about it
grows. We hope it
because that is how
grows
people.
like any other crop or farm. We hope it grows also.
I hope so. I really hope so. So I was supposed to be doing job, and I was supposed to be searching for job, and I was doctorate and all that. I don't know how. That was a very naive thought. I was never prepared for that, but I could envision that. मेरे को एक empire बनाना है. How, what, where, I don't know. So something started happening last 6 months while I was in job.
Hmm.
I started getting like myself in front of me, and I am completely freeze. And I can see instances where my own self is typically standing in front of me, and I am a little scared what is happening, and it is saying, why are you fitting in something what you're not supposed to fit into? And why are you compelling me to fit into it? It happened a couple of times. And what happened at the very brim of it, that's January, I know, that I was struggling with, when you're not in person, I have to take care of my finances myself. I have been doing that. So I was
Yeah.
worried about finances practically. And I was parallelly thinking of
Hmm.
certain things, goals, जो मैंने न्यू ईयर के लिखे थे. This I have to do. I have a habit of doing that, whether I follow or not. So I jotted them down, and I'm waking up 5 a.m. in the morning with nothing over my mind,
Hmm.
and I am a freeze, and something myself speaks to me. You have a purpose, and you don't need anything else beyond that. Don't be worried about money. Don't be worried
mm,
about anything. And then
mm,
something very beautiful came up. Prophet did not have money. He had a purpose. He had a mission.
mm,
And he was entitled for that. I don't know where from it is coming. I penned it down, whatever it was, because I have that habit. And I called my mentor. I have a
mm,
friend, philosopher, guide who is my mentor and a
mm,
father figure. Call him anything. I called him up and I discussed this with him. I told him this is what is happening, and he was aware of the instances happening before. He asked me, what do you want? What do you think about it? I told him that there is an inner call. And he said, where do you see yourself?
mm,
What do you see yourself doing? I said, I see
mm.
myself giving employment to people, giving education to people
Nice.
free of cost,
Interesting.
doing a lot of
Yeah.
service,
Yeah.
being there. If only one person can be motivated by my one single word, I think I have
Yeah.
earned the purpose of my life. And
So
that
it
is
was
the
mostly
reason Sapling
like an
Circle
inner call, and
took it
you
forward.
had a purpose, and we have a fruit in front of us in terms of your sapling circle. So I would like to introduce our
And then it was a
audiences to your.
conscious decision that I won't take anything else.
So here we have sapling circles. Tell us about this. What are you trying to? What are the services, and what? Tell us about your sapling circle. It should be coming from you.
So as I said, I am a person who worships only one word to begin with,
Yeah.
intention. I am नियत का काम करना है
Hmm.
और नियत से करना है, ये मैं कहती हूँ. तो नियत का काम
Yeah.
ये है कि आपको नीडी को हेल्प करना है. इट विल बी अ प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन,
Hmm.
but profit will go to needy.
Yeah.
And with farming community here, I want, as I said, we are migrating to jobs and to countries. So I want through Sapling Circle to give, first of all, hobbyists in agriculture. They can be people who are passionate about agriculture, who want to come up as a startup. So I want to give that
Hmm.
free of cost in terms of videos to needy, poor,
Yeah.
hobbyist, interest worthy person or anybody in terms of whatever he can qualify in terms of exam. Then, in terms of new crops that we are thinking, Sapling Circle is thinking in terms of scientific way to bring in some
Hmm.
crops in India, because as I said, there is a scope of because of climate change, and that is a scientific temperament. Let's try it. And we are able to do that as being part and parcel of this system scientifically, responsible enough. अगर मैं कर पाती हूँ
Yeah.
सक्सेस इसमें, तो
Yeah.
शायद मेरा फार्मर भी कन्विंस हो जाएगा इसको करने के लिए.
Yeah.
So that is another part. So there will be tutorials, experiments with those new crops. I think
Interesting.
that will help us tomorrow. Then there will be awareness of
So
schemes which I
basically,
learned in
so basically, you're going to.
Ministry of Agriculture.
Yeah.
There will be awareness of schemes because I felt government is doing much, but extension is poor. हम मैनेज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, हम एक्सटेंशन नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, आउटरीच नहीं है. So that will be there. We will be going nook and corner. The idea is maybe impractical today, but our vision is, my friend said, that be it impractical, but that is vision, one village at a time. We will start in some time by one village, wherein we can bring in focus, outreach of agriculture, taking it up, passionate, showing them that we are also from the technical side of it, and you can also come tomorrow. And then bringing women entrepreneurs. There is high rise of that, there is need of that. We are efficient. I am every time saying we are creatures of employment. So women has proved that, men has proved that. Time to develop resources, time to do something for those women and men and transgender. So trying to bring some livelihood for them and some livelihood for themselves, some hope and scope for them and motivation as well and awareness. You don't see the field operations. I come from that experience. We have 80% of labor is women in agriculture, be it
Hmm.
corporate, public, or even they are doing personal farming operations.
Yeah.
So they are meant for that heavy work. They do that with intentions, good intentions. We are support to them and awareness to them. So these are three basic, as of now, three basic things which I feel will help us regain back agriculture as the backbone. You know, we have from 70% agrarian country, we have come to 59 struggling there. I think when we are educating people, when I am passionate about it, now I am passionate about it. Now it is not I didn't want to do
Hmm.
agriculture because I did it
Hmm.
intentionally when I chose genetics and plant breeding in my masters. And today I am well in place, properly accepting that I was chosen for a purpose. I would not have
Hmm.
done if I was an IT engineer. I am
Hmm.
feeding the people. बहुत नियत का काम है और सर दिल की
Hmm.
सरदारी मिलती है, शायद मुझे इसलिए मिली है. And I want to own it.
Okay.
I want to own it
Okay.
and I want to motivate if somebody can get motivated. भाई इसमें भी बहुत नियत का काम है और करना है, खिलाना है, वो बहुत जरूरी है. Because that is basic. I said we started from progenitor Adam and Eve. वहीं पे कहानी है, वही करना है, वही बेसिक है.
या इस चीज के लिए, इस एफर्ट के लिए आपको हमारी तरफ से दाद और तहसीन और काफी सारी दुआएं, ढेर सारी दुआएं कि आपका ये वेंचर कामयाब रहे. एज आई अंडरस्टैंड
शुक्रिया,
इट, जो आप
आदावर्स है. थैंक यू.
एज आई अंडरस्टैंड इट कि आपका जो ये पूरा का पूरा जो वेंचर है, इट्स अ वन स्टॉप सोल्यूशन फॉर अ पर्सन जो समझना चाहता है प्रैक्टिसेस को, जो समझना चाहता है, वांट्स टू गो बैक टू द रूट्स, एंड आल्सो फॉर फार्मिंग कम्युनिटी कि वन स्टॉप सोल्यूशन. आप सीड्स, आई कैन सी द यू कैन बाय सीड्स जो आप रेकमेंड या जो आपके वेंचर से आ रहे हैं, या जो टूल्स इम्प्लीमेंट, जो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में जो टूल्स इस्तेमाल होते हैं. एंड एज यू सेड कि वी विल बी एक्सपेक्टिंग अ लॉट ऑफ वीडियोस, अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन एंड अ लॉट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस जो आपने ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम या ओवर द
Migration
इयर्स
will also
शेयर
stop.
की.
I can foresee
Yes, 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 yes.
because
And
people
apart
sitting
from
there
that,
can get
yeah,
encouraged that we did. I was able to do it in my place, so they can also come back
yes.
and do it.
Yes, yes. So I would say it's a one-stop solution for each and every one, फार्मिंग कम्युनिटी से हो या मेरी तरह जो लेमैन हो, जो अंडरस्टैंड करना चाह रहा है चीजों को लेकर, या जनरली स्पीकिंग. As you said, it's a very honorable thing, and it should be appreciated that you want to generate employment for women also. So, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, and we wish you all the very best for your sapling circle. May it grow and may it be global someday, hopefully, inshallah, multinational. So, thank you so much for having
It
you
will
with us
evolve
आज के इस.
because it is
तो
coming
हम
from
उम्मीद करेंगे कि
a
आपसे
breeder.
आपके यूट्यूब चैनल के थ्रू, आपके यूट्यूब चैनल के थ्रू और आपकी वेबसाइट के थ्रू और
A
आपके
human being
सैपलिंग
first, then
सर्कल
a
के थ्रू.
breeder next. So anything
यस,
that will come from me as a child, good intention to it.
यस. तो वी विल बी एक्सपेक्टिंग कि आपके सैपलिंग सर्कल के थ्रू हमें बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन, बहुत सारा जो आपका एक्सपीरियंस है, और अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट जो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस है उसके बारे में भी पता चले. So on this note, we would like to end our conversation. Although ये हमने expect किया था कि एक आधे घंटे का होगा, but I can see the clock is ticking at 1 hour
Yeah,
and
so I
16
think
minutes. It's very long,
we are good to go.
but
Coming
the
from
one
a
that is
human
very
being with
interesting.
good intention, that's me. And then a breeder next. Every progeny that I will produce with the sapling circle or another organization or many more, we will be doing everything for the betterment of the humankind and the creatures on this earth. With that thought, thank you so much. Take care. Thank you to be here. Thank you, Athar. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, Athar. Thanks for having me.
Human first, breeder next. And on that thought, we would like to conclude this session. Thank you so much.